Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of October 8th through 14th. Today is actually Saturday, October 7th. So we're going to start off this diary entry with a Spookoplathon roll. So I mentioned in my previous diary entry that I am completed with the 3 Spookoplathon rolls I had done with my TBR game. So I'm now going to be rolling as I go. So I want to do another Spookoplathon roll to hopefully coincide with some other readathon prompts that I've got going on for the 3 other readathons that I'm doing this month. So let's start off this week's diary entry with Spookoplathon roll. So I'm going to put up a screen recording of the Spookoplathon board right now. And I actually have some really cool dice that I should have used for my previous rolls, but we had gotten these Haunted Mansion dice before, and I should have used them to roll for the Spookoplathon, but I didn't. So we're going to use them now. You can kind of see, you'll see it better when I do my rolls, but these are the busts from the Haunted Mansion. And then on 6, it's the H and M. So we're going to put up the board right now, and we will roll for another roll. So the last prompt I got was Black Cat, so we are here right now. So if I am able to do this right, you will see the dice roll up on the side. So here we go with our dice tray. Let us see what we will get for our next roll. That is a 6 and a 3. So 6 and a 3. Let me see. Oh, that is upside down. 6 and a 3. So that is 9. So we are moving 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Becca-wreck. Ooh, not sure what that meant, so let me go look up what we're supposed to do for that. Presume it's a Becca recommendation, but we kind of don't have the same reading taste, so this should be interesting. Okay, so I've been through some of Becca's recommendations videos. Obviously, I wanted something fast, so I went to her manga and comic recommendations for 2021, and in there was Dreamin' Sun. So I have Dreamin' Sun volumes 1, 2, and 3 here. I actually have the whole series, I think. But I read Dreamin' Sun volume 1 several years ago. I enjoyed it, but I could kind of foresee a problematic romance afoot. I think that's probably how the series is going to end, but I'm still interested to see how this story plays out. So this series is about our girl here. Her name is Kamiko. And she kind of feels like since her sibling has been born, her parents don't really pay any attention to her, so she decides to run away. As she is doing that, she stumbles across a guy in the park, I believe, and he's like looking for his key or something. I think he's looking for his key for his house, if I remember correctly. And so he basically tells her if she can help him find his keys to his house, that she can stay with him, you know, since she's got no place to live at the moment. So they end up making this deal. She moves into his house. He's actually housing a couple of guys that also go to her school. And so it's kind of a story about them kind of getting to know each other, contemporary kind of slice of life with a romance element to it kind of story. And yeah, it was okay. The first volume was interesting, but like I said, I kind of feel like this is going to go in a direction that I'm not crazy about, but we shall see. I'm only planning on rereading volume 1, but like I said, I have more volumes, so we'll see how this month goes. Obviously, the series does not fit into that, Halloween creepy vibe that I'm trying to like go for this month. But maybe it'll spur me on to trying to complete the series before the end of the year as well. So since this is on her recommendations video, this is what I'm going to be reading for Becca Rec. So that is going to do it for me for the moment. I will check in with you after I have finished this volume for our next roll. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is Saturday, October 14th. So I actually didn't do anything with the Spookoplathon roll that I did earlier. It kind of just doesn't fit with the vibe that I'm trying to go with this year or this month. And so, yeah, I didn't read Dream and Sun yet, but it is still one that I have interest in. There were just a couple other things that I wanted to read this week, and there are a couple of novels that I really need to get done before the end of the month. So I felt like I really needed to put emphasis on that first before I went and read something that was completely like not the vibe that I was going for this month and not on my TBR for the month at all. And so that's the road I took instead. I still hope to read that maybe before the end of the month. But right now the Spookoplathon rolls are kind of stalled. But I did finish those other 3 that I rolled, so that's great. So at least I finished that. But for right now, Spookoplathon is kind of stalled. So I did finish a few things this week, and so I will let you know what I thought about those things. I'm in the middle of a couple of things right now, and I don't have a knitting update for you, but I do have a small yarn haul to share with you, and then I'll catch you up with some of the things we're watching at the end. And so let's get started. So the first thing I finished was Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This I had to read for the Camp Crystal Lake Readathon as our team book. And so this definitely wasn't a book that I had on my radar at all. I was only reading it because I had to before our team prompt. And so this is a story about a place named Sorsha. And in this place, years ago, actually 6 years ago, there was a fire and there was a murder. And there was a lot of questions about what was going on with that. And we specifically look at one friend group of 2 guys and 2 girls. One of the girls and one of the guys are in a relationship, and the other girl and the other guy are just kind of in the friend group, but not together. And so we follow this friend group and what had happened to them in light of those occurrences. We find out that the boyfriend of the girl in the friend group was accused of the murder and not convicted of it. So he was never convicted of the crime, but because of everything that had happened, his mom moves him away and obviously breaks the girlfriend's heart. And so we jump 6 years ahead in time, and they've grown up a little bit, and now that guy is back, and his mom has passed away, and he's back to bury her. And now all of those questions of what happened that night are going to be coming to the forefront, and it's thrown the town into kind of a disarray with his appearance and bringing back all of those memories of things that have happened, and the secrets of what had happened surrounding the murder and the fire are going to start coming out. And so this was definitely not how it was sold to me, I guess, because everything that I was reading from the people that were kind of talking about it in the Discord were saying that this was going to be a book about witches, because everybody was trying to put it in for our prompt that was also witches, but we were told we couldn't double up. So I had thought that this book was going to be about witches. There was going to be magic. And very slightly there is magic, but it's not the type of magic that I was expecting when I was told that there are witches in this book. The magic in here is not like Harry Potter like magic, where you're over cauldrons and making potions and spells and incantations with a wand type of thing. It's like more like practical magic. I haven't read the book, but I have watched the movie. And, you know, you definitely have those things where it's like reading of the tea leaves. They do make a few potions, but they're kind of given like they are in practical magic. It's more a lot of like omen telling and like not really overt magic. It's kind of more natural, I would say. And so that was kind of a step back for me. Like I read this as more of a contemporary story. It definitely read as more of a contemporary story with romantic and family drama in it. That was a lot of what this story was about. There was a lot of family drama. There was a lot of romantic drama. And if I didn't have to read it for my team prompt, I would have DNF'd it. I was told later that we could have DNF'd it, but we wouldn't have gotten full points. And to be honest, this book wasn't so bad that I was like, you know, really hard up to finish it. So I just went ahead and finished it. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because in the end, I enjoyed what happened. I enjoyed the reveal of the mystery. I enjoyed the reveal of what happened that night, of, you know, what happened with the fire and things like that. That was really interesting. But I think that this book could have been cut down a lot. I do think a lot of things we were told wasn't necessary to us as a reader. I do also feel that the way this book was told was not the smartest way to tell it. So this book definitely jumps back and forth between present and past a lot. Almost every other chapter. And we also get POV from multiple people. Some people I don't think we needed the POV from, so I don't quite understand that whole point, which also kind of added to the length of the book. I much would have preferred if this story started, say, at the beginning where we started in present, and then flash back fully to the events of what happened with the fire and the murder, leading us up to present day, and then finishing out, you know, with all the revelations and everything of what exactly happened. But that's not how this happens. We jump back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I dislike that with a passion. You know, besides all of the multiple POV issues, you have the multiple time issues, and I just don't feel like that was the smartest way to tell this story. And like I said, I do feel like there was a lot of stuff that could have been cut out. I also feel like this story would have worked much better if the time between the events of the murder and the fire and where we are with our characters now was longer than 6 years. It would have made more sense for it to be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I just feel like that would have made more of an impact in regards to the feelings of the characters and kind of the betrayal that's felt with, you know, the girlfriend and having her boyfriend leave and never ever hearing from him again. You know, I feel like the impact of that would have been stronger if the length of time that he had been gone was more. I feel like 6 years wasn't enough to like give the most optimal impact of those feelings. But like I said, at the end, I did enjoy how everything wrapped up. I enjoyed the reveal. It all made sense to me. And yeah, it was interesting in the end, but it was kind of a slog getting to there. So I did end up giving this one 3 stars. Glad I read it. Would never read it again. And definitely not marketed the way I think it should be. So yeah. The rest of the stuff that I finished this week is all manga. So I read volume 1 of Vampire Knight by Matsuri Hino, published by Viz, rated older teen. So this is a story about our characters here on the cover. So these two characters are students at Cross Academy, which has a day class and a night class. And everybody in the day class is enamored with the night class, but what they don't know is the night class is full of vampires. And the head of those vampires is this guy right here. And all three of these characters have a past with each other. And the story as of right now is just that these two characters kind of make sure that the day class are safe from the night class. And there is a little bit of a secret where our character here, Zero, has had something happen to his past, which kind of puts him in the gray area between the day class and the night class. So we're kind of just figuring everything out right now and, you know, getting to know our characters and their backgrounds and how they came to be at Cross Academy and things like that. I actually read volumes 1 through 5 of this series years ago, but I never finished the series, and I definitely want to do that. I had a prompt for the Camp Crystal Lake Readathon to read a paranormal romance, and knowing that there are romantic things that happen in this series, because I've watched the anime, I went ahead and used this for paranormal romance. I did also find this on a list on Goodreads of best paranormal romance, and so I think that counts. So yeah, I definitely want to finish this series, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that this year. This is a series that I enjoyed in anime, and so I definitely want to complete this series. So I've got another one of my prompts for Camp Crystal Lake done, and I think that one finished my 4 prompts that I needed for Camp Crystal Lake. So yeah, that completed my 4th prompt. So now I've read the team book. I've completed 4 prompts for my own team, so I am able to start stealing prompts from other teams. So that's what I will be doing with the remainder of the manga that I read. And I actually read all 3 of these volumes during the Manga Freakathon sprints that I was invited to be a part of by my friend Bizarre Individual. And so we did some live reading sprints, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to join them again for the live reading sprints at the end of this month. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. But next week's reading sprints, I won't be able to because they're having it on the night of the Monochrome Manga Club meeting. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I finished 3 volumes of manga during the stream, and it was a really, really fun night. So the first 2 volumes that I finished on stream were actually for the Monochrome Manga Club, and that was volumes 7 and 8 of Persona 4 by Shuji Sogabe, published by ATLUS, and I would say rated older teen. So I really enjoyed these volumes. We got a lot more info on this character here, and another dungeon, and more information on things that are going on as far as the mystery, and some hijinks and shenanigans as well. And I'm just really, really enjoying this journey. So I finished both of these on stream, really enjoyed it, definitely chuckled to myself a couple times. And so yes, really enjoying that, looking forward to seeing how that one continues. And then the last volume that I finished on stream was volume 4 of Mieruko-chan. This is by Tomoki Izumi, published by Yam Press, rated older teen. So this series follows our main character here, who can see spirits. And in fact, this is one of the spirits. They don't all kind of look like that. There are some that actually look like normal humans to the point where she can't tell who's alive and who's dead. So sometimes she makes a mistake by talking to one here and there. But the more that this series goes on, the more spirits she's starting to see, and there are more like this, and those are definitely ones that she pretends that she can't see, and they all come up to her and are like, "Can you see me?" You know, and they want to converse and things like that, and she is having a hard time. She's having a hard time. The spirits that are like this scare her, but she's met a few people along the way that are helping her out and helping her figure out what her abilities are, how to live with an ability like this, and things like that. So I really enjoy this series. It's really interesting. There's a really heart-wrenching moment at the end of volume 1, and yeah, just really enjoying the series. And so I wanted to get back into this one because it definitely fits the feel of the season. And so I want to catch up to where we are right now. So got another volume of that done. I'm going to use this as a steal prompt for another team for Camp Crystal Lake. And I think I'm going to use this one for actually Camp Crystal Lake and do it for their backlist prompt, because this one was published in the United States in 2021. So yes, going to steal that prompt. And then Persona 4, both of those I'm going to use for Woodsboro, Team Woodsboro for a continuous series, and Team Haddonfield for sequel. So yes, stealing some prompts there from other teams, which is great to get more points for my team. My team is not doing very great right now, but I think my team has the least amount of participants in it. So yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it is a competitive readathon, but I think the most fun thing about this particular readathon is stealing those prompts from the other teams to get more points for your team. And you know, we've been having lots of chats. In fact, we're having our group movie watch tonight, or today. It was earlier today, and I was in the chat because it's one of the movies that I really enjoy watching this time of the year. Our team movie was The Haunting, and so a lot of the other team members came over to our chat thread and was chatting with us, and a lot of them hadn't watched The Haunting ever. So it was really interesting to see their reactions to things and what they thought of the movie afterwards and things like that. And so, yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite movies to watch, like I said, this time of the year. But yes, so that was a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I'm just going to continue for the remainder of the month, trying to steal prompts from other teams to get more points for my team. So that is everything that I have finished reading, and so I am in the middle of a couple of things. So I did go ahead and start reading Kingdom Keepers by Ridley Pearson, Disney at Dawn. This is the second book in the Kingdom Keepers series, and I am on chapter 30, page 186. So this series actually follows our characters from the first book, in which all of those kids, I think they're like almost teenagers or young teens. They get hired by Disney to be the models for their holographic tour guide that they're having in the parks. And so basically they, get mapped and stuff, and their holograms are in the parks helping people out, doing tours and things like that. And the kids that the holograms are mapped from, they find out that when they sleep, they are able to become their holographic selves and roam the parks. And they come across a plan from the Disney villains that are trying to wreak havoc as usual. And so in the first book, they work to stop that. And then in the second book, there's another happening in regards to Maleficent wanting to cause trouble. And this scene on the front cover here actually happens in the beginning of this book. So you can kind of see that this is the Cinderella's castle, and they're ziplining. They're ziplining down where Tinkerbell would zip down during the fireworks show that they have. And so, yeah, all of these take place in Disney parks in Florida. And so it's been really interesting to hear them talk about the different places, especially because I went to Disney World earlier this year. So the layout of the parks there is pretty fresh in my mind. And this one starts off in the Magic Kingdom, and then we moved to Animal Kingdom, and now the characters are kind of broken up and are in different parks trying to get different pieces of information. So where I am right now, we have a couple of characters in the Animal Kingdom, we have a couple of characters in the Magic Kingdom, and we have a couple of characters in Hollywood Studios. And so, yes, very, very interesting. I really, really enjoy hearing about the different parks that they're in. Definitely takes me back to the trip that we had earlier this year. And I really enjoy seeing these kids kind of, you know, fight against these villains that are trying to wreak havoc. And so it's really interesting. The chapters are pretty short. And in this particular one, they're using like technology to like text each other. And so that's really fun as well. And so, yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. I would say I'm about halfway or so. I think there are about 65 chapters in this book. Let me get a page count. So there are 377 pages. I'm on page 186. So, yeah, I'm doing pretty good with this. This is for my TBR game, which was to read another book in the Kingdom Keepers series. So I should have this one done, I would think, by next week to be able to give you my full thoughts on it. But so far, really enjoying that. And then for my audiobook this week, because I finished Spells for Forgetting, I decided to go ahead and listen to BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural 101 True Tales of Hauntings, Demons, and the Paranormal by Ryan Bergara and Shane Madej. I watched the BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural show, as well as the BuzzFeed Unsolved other series they did that was like true crime stuff, and really enjoyed them. And now Ryan and Shane have their own network that's called Watcher, that's also on YouTube, and they kind of do some of the more similar shows that they did on BuzzFeed, and I'm really enjoying those as well. But these are basically just like 1 or 2 page recaps of places that they had gone. Some of the places I remember, like there's Winchester Mystery House. They've been there a couple of times. And other places that I remember them going to. But there are some that I don't quite remember. But the way that these stories, I guess, are told is you get a third narrator who's kind of telling the history of the place, and then you get little inserts of talk from Ryan and Shane, and it's just like their little quips and things like that. It does sound a little bit scripted, which I kind of wish they would have just like shot from the hip like they do on the show, but it still gives the same like flavor of them, the way they banter with each other. And so you can kind of see here how it's laid out, where you've got the history of the place, and then you've got a different like font and stuff to show where Ryan and Shane are talking to each other and making comments about the place and things like that. And it's just really enjoyable. I normally listen to my audiobooks on 2x speed, but with this one I went down to 1.5. I wanted it a little bit faster, but I still wanted to maintain how Ryan and Shane sounded, and so 2 times just made them sound not like themselves, but 1.5 they still sound like themselves, and it just goes just a little bit faster. But I am really enjoying this. I'm almost at the end of the first section, which is haunted houses. I think the next section is hellish hotels. So that'll be interesting. But I'm really enjoying this. Really enjoying this. Really enjoying hearing them go back and forth with each other. And so, yes, if you haven't watched any of the BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural episodes or any of Ryan and Shane's shows from their time on BuzzFeed, I would definitely recommend going to check that out. They are still on the BuzzFeed channel. And keep up with them on Watcher. They have Ghost Files now, which is kind of their equivalent of Unsolved Supernatural, where they go and visit places and check them out for supernatural activity. And they have a bunch of other shows that they do that we really enjoy. So yes, definitely am enjoying this one. I don't know if I'm going to finish this one by the end of this week. I just want to enjoy this one as it comes because it's so entertaining. And so, yes, I'll definitely finish that one by the end of the month, though. So that is everything that I am currently reading at the moment. Next week is the Manga Club meeting, so I will be reading the rest of the Manga Club installments throughout the week leading up to the Manga Club meeting on Thursday. And so, yeah, as far as knitting goes, I haven't really done much. I've put in another couple rows. Again, nothing much to show you. I'm just putting in rows as I can, and so there is that. But I did get a little bit of yarn mail, so I will share that with you. I did order the anime monthly yarn club this past month, so it's in September, from Hawari Bazaar, so I wanted to share that with you. It just came in the other day, and September's theme was Kanroji Matsuri. So this is a character from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. She's one of the Hashira, and this skein absolutely encompasses her, like, to the point, completely on the spot, and I'm very, very happy with this. So I was talking to my daughter, and she said that when I buy these sets, I always buy the sock set so that there's enough yarn for a pair of socks for me and a pair of socks for my daughter. And when I was talking to my daughter, she had mentioned that she wanted her socks to have alternating heels and toes in black and pink. So one have a black heel, pink toe, and the other one have a pink heel, black toe. So that's what we'll be doing for her. And I think for me, I'm just going to go ahead and use the pink. And so, yeah, really, really happy with this. Would have liked a little bit more black, I think, but there might be more inside the twists. You never know when it's twisted up like this. And yeah, just really happy with this. So that will be really, really nice as far as whenever I knit that up, because I'm still like not quite there with my knitting, but I'm getting there. I am getting there, I think. I have been catching up with a lot more knitting podcasts this past week. A few of them are doing Vlogmas, like the Knit365 blog. I really, really enjoy watching him, especially during October and December, because in October he does the West Knits knit along, and then in December he does a Toft crochet Advent crochet along to create like a amigurumi. And so it's always really fun to see what him and his husband are up to. And who else did I watch this week? I caught up with Needles at the Ready, watched their most recent podcast, which I think was from 3 weeks ago. I always enjoy hearing about what they're knitting, what they've been up to, and things like that. I caught up with the Crazy Sock Lady, my friend Vanessa over at the Crafty Planty Life podcast. And so, yeah, I've just been slowly getting back into knitting podcasts because the BookTube and MangaTube and WaxTube videos have been less recently. And so I'm able to watch those and then watch the knitting stuff. I think in like December, closer to December, I'm definitely going to switch over to more knitting, like focus my watching on the knitting podcast, because everybody's going to be doing Vlogmas, and then as I can watch the BookTube. I typically do that because I enjoy seeing all of the yarn advent calendars and what everybody's doing with them and what they're knitting, and just all the holiday vibes really helps out my knit mojo. And so, yeah, just really looking forward to that time of the year and everything like that. We finished our rewatch of Rose Red the other night. Rose Red showed up on Hulu. I think it's the first time I've seen it on a streaming service. I do have the DVDs because it's one of my favorite of the Stephen King miniseries to watch. But I've never really seen it for sale in Blu-ray yet. I haven't seen it on a streaming service. So I do have DVDs, but the the DVDs are getting a little bit worn out. So I was really happy to see it on Hulu. If you haven't seen Rose Red, I definitely recommend that you go watch it. It's got a little bit of an element of the Winchester Mystery House, which I just talked to you about in the BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural book. A little bit of an element there, but it is a really, really interesting TV show about a house that keeps growing. And I really enjoy it. I watch it almost every year, I would say. I really enjoy it, and it's finally available to stream. So we watched it from streaming and really enjoyed that as well. And so, yeah, that's pretty much everything that I've been up to lately. Let me know down in the comments below how you're doing with your readathons. Let me know what you've read during the last week and what you thought of what you read. I would really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a ghost emoji, because I'm wearing my Haunted Mansion shirt, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.